What's up, everybody? Tommy, World at War Comics, back again, Mr. AC Medina, talking about Deadhead on Kickstarter right now, man. AC, how you doing? I know we're waiting for John. He'll be on, I'm sure, shortly. But, man, it's so good to have you back again, brother.
Thank you. No, I'm feeling great, man. I love being on here. It's been a very exciting month. I've been usually with my titles. Well, lately I've been sitting on them for a long time, but like Deadhead has just been a cannonball fired from hell that just started like at the beginning of this year. We just rolled with it, and it's just been rolling into something real special, man. I've been stressing in the campaign itself that and every campaign says that, and I believe every campaign means it. But truly, this is a title where like the supporters, the backers, you guys are here like on the ground floor. It may seem like we've been we've been cooking this for like a long time, but and not to discredit our work, but no, it really just like it's been just like chaos in the best ways. I think the campaign's kind of shown that where we had a very exciting launch, like everyone has. Then we hit like a wall, and now it's just been like a steady cruise.
Yeah.
I feel like my thumb has like just lost all its initial layers, just like re-scrolling, posting stories.
Yeah.
I'm not the best social media guy, but that's always been. This is one that I've been able to like follow because again, everyone on here has just been awesome. I've been very lucky.
Love it, man. Well, I mean, congratulations, because with 11 days to go, you have over 100 backers, and you have quadrupled your goal, man. And when you see the art and you see everything that's gone into it, you could obviously see why. The story looks like heavy metal-ish. It looks crazy, man.
Sure.
And then the action figure, people that are watching, they actually have an action figure, man, which is just insane, which is really cool. What I thought I would do, if it's all right with you, AC, I'm going to share my screen and let's take a look at the actual Kickstarter, and then we could kind of.
Yeah, for sure. We've been we were really trying our best to get Barlow and Gabriel on here. Our team, they're very much duo. Gabriel being our main arts and Barlow being our colorist. They've been just like such a great duo, and I think they've really done some great work. And then joining us as Mike Myers is just. I think if you've picked up a comic book in the last 15 years, I don't have to tell you who Mike Myers is.
Yeah,
He's my boy. I've always call him like the go-to closer. And like in baseball, big baseball guy, and Michael always just brings it on home. And this team has just been like you said, heavy metal. We've been it's been awesome.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm gonna go ahead and play the trailer and see if it plays. All right.
For sure.
Enough to make your backbone shake the killers. Enough to make your stupid races quiver. And the killers long to take your life. The sun beats down like thunder. We like to make the bow. The clash of steel and leather. The only song we know. No burden, no quarter. We don't show no compassion. We glory in the slaughter. No mercy. We fetch your death. The killers. We are the ones who told we are the killers.
Dude, that looks dope, dude.
I'll
pump it out in a wall or something, bro.
Yeah, so absolutely. I think Motorhead is like just a perfect. We really had kind of like a soundtrack that just matches it. And I think when John asked me for when we were working together, because we first started in the Haunted Box, I featured one of my stories there. And when it finally came to like a new title, I asked John, I'm like, okay, what are you guys working with? He had a lot of horror at the time, and I kind of like stumbled into horror. Like I started comics wanting to be known for crime, but comics were like sci-fi or horror. What do you got? You know, create your own, like and that's been great. I've loved stumbling into both. I never
Yeah.
was smart enough to write sci-fi, but here I am in development. I've got my third sci-fi, and I would say Deadhead is my very first solo horror adventure. My writing partner Mina Alwell, she's a horror through and through, and she's really like helped me kind of like learn what works for my side of things. And I would say Deadhead is the embodiment of that. Like I wanted Deadhead to be an homage to slashers, but not quite trying to be like slasher movies because I
Yeah.
want it to be in the vision of a pure comic. I can't really write comics any other way. It's kind of hard to reel myself back sometimes, but and it's even better when a publisher like Iron Age just kind of said, "Go for it." They've been very supportive, so it's been exciting.
I love it, man. Well, where did this story start? What's the
So,
genesis of Deadhead?
so Deadhead, for me, I've always had it in the back of my mind. As a kid, I've always had characters, and like Deadhead has always been one that I would like make in certain video games, or like sometimes like I never use it as like a screen name or anything because like people used to mistake it as like a really big Grateful Dead fan. And I'm like, who Grateful Dead are at the time, right? And but the story of Deadhead really started this year. Again, when John was asking me for titles, I had in mind I wanted to do a slasher story, and I've always wanted to see slashers. For me, they share that same iconography a lot with like superheroes, specifically like the edgy superheroes of the '90s, which like that's like that's for me that's always going to be a sweet spot. Save all your takes. I've heard them all, and I appreciate them all equally. I understand, but I kind of wanted to combine the two. Again, finding my lane there, and that's where Deadhead started. Where I was like, what if I just have a slasher that slashes. You know, it gave it like Deadhead's story is really all about agency, and for me, I wanted to bring back agency to who I think are the stars of slasher movies, and that's the slashers themselves. We that's not to say there's not some great survivor characters that have made their own like history, but I just think when we watch slashers, we want to see our guys do some awful stuff, and that's kind of where the focus of Deadhead was. One thing that's really like is fun about the story is that Deadhead is the slasher of the story. He's got no dialogue. When he shows up, it's hell, and the people who are scared are usually the ones scaring others. So it's been a lot of fun to sort of pay as much homage to my heroes in a not so heroic way, but similar tone, and I think it's again that like sort of late '90s, early 2000s era of these superheroes for
Yeah.
sure sort of inspired it.
I love it, man. Well, the art looks absolutely insane, man. Here's some of the pages that you could expect when jumping into this. Again, it's a hefty book too. Was it 44 pages, man? So you're getting a lot of bang for your buck with this first title of Deadhead. It's loaded, man. The art is spectacular. Check that out, man.
Yeah, and Gabriel and Barlow, they're incredible, and it's Barlow. I would really want to highlight because I think everyone that makes a comic is super important, just as integral. I always say, out of everything I ever worked on, be it either like movies or other media or games, comics. What I love about comics is that comics is like an elite unit. You know what I mean? There's only like four of us, sometimes less, sometimes more, but there's always just a small amount of people, and everyone brings their own. And I want to highlight Barlow because colorists are very much important. I believe they and we should value them just as we value letters, just as we value artists. But I want to highlight Barlow because Barlow and Gabriel have been such a united team. You know, there's like there's certain lines that Gabriel will first be like, "Hey Barlow, what do you think I should do here?" And I feel like that collaboration has been awesome. It's been very special to see. You know, and I've really enjoyed seeing just like both of them sort of came to me as a package. Like Gabriel was like, I'm not having anybody else come. Like, look, and then funnily enough, another artist who I'm developing something with, same thing with Barlow. As soon as I recommended it, so it was like, you know, what a small world, but not so small. And I think one thing that makes Barlow very special is he told me I like to color each book differently. And Deadhead, he came up with this palette from the ground up. Both of them, they work on designs. Gabriel leaves the colors of the designs to Barlow, and seeing that synergy, like I just sit back. I'm known for saying that my art direction ended the moment you agreed to work with me. Is what I usually tell artists. Not to say that I don't have very specific, you know, scenes and such. It's just like I don't believe getting in my artist's way. So.
Yeah. Now, a lot of times they can even help the story and maybe add a piece that maybe you didn't think of as a writer. I've had that happen. We're like, damn, that looks so good. I think I should change my dialogue a little bit, dude. This looks awesome.
Oh yeah. It's funny that like we were doing a recent designs, and I told Gabriel because something you might have noticed is we want to pay love to slashers in the genre through and through, but we want to give our own takes. And I told him, I was like, this one is great, but like it needs more Gabriel and less who we were paying respect to. And then when he brought right back, it was just so much better. He agreed as well, and I think that really shines with Deadhead himself, his design.
For sure.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to work with the best in the industry, and this design has been one that like the reaction is just been great.
Dude, that is crazy looking, man.
Right.
On the top of the head, everything come out of her nose and mouth and ears. That's insane. I love it.
Yeah,
got an intestine on Mason's shoulder.
Yeah, and then like Micah times the lettering just right because like you know, I'm usually I've always been fortunate enough to get the green light for extra dialogue. You know, I don't want to say here, I believe my dialogue's as good as the latest one I've written that's been accepted, but it's been tricky with Deadhead because you know there's something about slashers that a lot of them don't talk, and our two leads, but don't really speak, which are Mauler Mason and Deadhead. So I had to like figure out, different ways to communicate there. And I wanted to say that because the broadcaster is just as much a character in this scene, especially in the actual book itself.
Right.
And Micah has been able to letter that beautifully there, and then that synergy to transition into the action. Again, I've been just very lucky to work with this team.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The art is spectacular. Looks dope. All right, we're going to get into the action figure here too, which I think is just insane, man. Look at that thing. Let me go ahead and hit play here too, if that's all right.
Go for it.
So it doesn't have a comic in there though, right? That's just a cardboard or is that a real comic in there?
That's just for display, but it will in what you can get.
Yeah.
I'll do my best to match John here. I will say, as far as the toy goes, I'm as much a fan as you guys are, for better or worse, in that I don't know much of the behind the scenes other than Peter, who is our toy sculptor, who I met, is awesome and super cool, and instantly became a part of the Deadhead crew. He brought his own twists, some fun, exciting ideas to it. I can say, like, I give, like, my perspective, which is pretty fun in that, there's been a lot of numbers discussion. between the finances of it, but also the actual process.
Yeah.
Which again, it's all handmade. Nothing like that's been very cool. It's one of those things where it becomes way less of a thing you just say when you actually see that. Like
Right.
each figure everyone is getting is going to be unique, to order, numbered, like a collector's dream. And like I don't really have that collector's mindset per se. I like collect specific things that I like, and which is similar things. But anyways, John really has that collector's mind, and really it's considerate. He's making it worthwhile, and I think he really has a vision for it, and you're seeing it here.
Yeah.
How it came to be was just like John sends me, which is these are always the best messages or the scariest ones when it's like at 6 in the morning. But he's like, dude, action figure, what do you think? And then I sent him a screenshot of me saying, but he had missed it in our previous conversation months back. Action figure might be a cool idea down the line, and to see that come together, that was a lot of fun. It got really real once Peter joined, and just like blew it away. Like I think there's and again, Peter's worked with who's who. He's worked with everyone. His profile speaks for himself.
Yeah.
And
he's a toy. DC. Yeah, he's done a lot with toys.
And again, all hand sculpted, like
it's crazy, man.
Which is really cool. Yeah, like it's like it's awesome. I might be a little biased, but I think it's just it's in today's world where like so much of art is getting automated, and it's like it's the worst. It just feels good to like see something like come from the trenches. Like you can see certain pictures here, but I've seen a lot more in our Discord as we're developing.
Right.
And then it's pretty sick. Like I've been very fortunate. This came from an idea, and now to see all these different creators bring their own different takes on it is fun. And also,
play this.
No, it's like I can't stress enough just how fun it's been, and like I think the design is very toyetic, and that again we had no idea. Me, Gabriel, Barlow, Micah, like we just one day just we see our group chat, and it's like, what, we're gonna have toys? I would never thought that would be happening, but then it's been very exciting, and we understand that it's a steep price. I was like, hey man, that's awesome that you guys think something with my name is gonna sell that much. That's great, but good luck to you.
Yeah.
And within the first day, and then no one has gotten just the toy. Everyone has made sure to get the comic with it, which is something very important. Like at the end of the day, Deadhead is a comic first, and they'll always be a comic first.
Yeah.
It's just cool to see. I as a fellow nerd, as you can see, collector, see him like it get the cool treatment, the treatment that you want your own stuff to get, even if it's not your own creative stuff. It's been real, and I don't want to speak too much for Iron Age, but I doubt this is going to be the last you see.
Yeah. Action figures are a drug, man. You don't just make one, bro.
Maybe
Mason next, probably, man. Mason's going to be like 10 inches, probably, at least, right? If he's 5.5, he's got to be at least like 7, 8 inches.
Oh yeah, but it's funny because it's a toss up between the Mason figure or maybe Mason plushies, because for some reason a lot of people find him cute. I don't know what we're and I will say, story wise, my favorite part of Mason is that Mason wants nothing more than to retire to a vineyard in the hills of Italy, but he's unfortunately the best slasher of all time, and will never be allowed to retire unless Deadhead retires and form, But we'll see what happens there. But I think you root for Mason. I feel because who doesn't want to just disappear surrounded by different a figure of isolation
Who doesn't
after.
want to root for this guy?
Like I will say, there's one of my favorite scenes that is in the book is when we're giving you Mason's history. And it might be a little bit of a shot at certain treatment of a certain character.
Right.
But there's a point where Mason is floating in space and kills someone in space. And he is having a monologue and he says to himself, they even sent me to space. And, I think those who know, if you know, you'll get that reference there.
Okay.
But he's in the cosmos and he felt nothing but just other sad, like loneliness, and that is Mason to a T. He has seen the other side of the edge, and he just wants to be in a vineyard. And I think that's made him made him cute to a certain portion of the audience. So we'll see. Maybe we'll see plushies. We'll see figures. I am all for seeing all the cool things, but what I can assure you is that there's plenty more of the Deadhead comic. This is a first Kickstarter of a planned 3 for the initial volume, but there's already been rumblings for volume 2, so your money's pretty safe here. I would say for a couple Kickstarters. We have plans, and Iron Age really believes in them. And we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but I think the proof is there that there's been reception, so we're very excited. And that's just something I like to assure folks, because at the end of the day, Kickstarter is believing in an idea, and I believe you should be assured that your money's not going into a void.
Yeah.
Actually one of the there's been a lot of developments at Iron Age, which I'm in that rocky situation, which I'm not sure what I can talk about or what I cannot talk about, because again, I'm just a creator here, folks. And I've been very happy from my side, but I will say there is going to be a lot more Iron Age and a lot more Deadhead coming your way. So feel comfortable back in here. I know. This month I have learned maybe 1,000 different ways to say give me some money, but you're not really giving me money here. You're giving Deadhead. You're giving this just amazing, almost like heavy metal song dedicated to slashers, and everyone here is very fortunate for it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, let's look at some of these covers, man. You have 6 covers.
Yeah.
Starting off with Gabriel Fonseca, and he does the interior, right?
Yep. And he's also co-creator with myself. So
he's got 2 covers. It looks like he has the cover A and the cover F.
Yeah, which like that cover F is insane, dude. Like, so one thing John told me is that he's gonna get an edition where the flap comes out, so you can get it sketched. You can put like whoever you want to see Deadhead fighting against. You have an already sketched there, which I think that's pretty neat. One thing we're really excited for is to see who all Deadhead gets faced off against in the world. We're so that's part of that cover there. And it's again like a double-sided. There's a lot more very like important details that again John is an expert at here. So I'm sorry if I may not have all the answers, but I can tell you that these are some awesome covers, I guess, and we actually had to cut off a few for the next Kickstarter because we just had a deluge of covers. So a lot of my buddies were like, "Hey, dude, here is a Deadhead." Yeah. Without even asking, which is always like a perk, but like, I can usually tell when my buddies want to do a cover and when they're just doing me a favor. And I can say the Deadhead, there's been just all wanting to do it just for sake of it. So that's always a play. Yeah, there's just a lot of awesome ones here. Kit Wallace,
Yeah,
he is
let's cover B, which I
a
love.
longtime collaborator. We worked together on a few books. We have a upcoming graphic novel for next year alongside Nina Elwell, and we all created Halicious, which is currently being adapted by TBS for an animated series.
Wow.
And, we've been, yeah, no, me too. We've gone back. It's always exciting seeing like just your friends colliding and like the best crossovers. I think the best comic book crossovers are when I get to see my buddies draw my other buddies and I creations. That's been fortunate to hear. Kevin Shaw is another one. Me and him, we made our first book ever together, Elasticator. This cover is awesome, man.
Yeah,
This is,
Kevin's cover here.
you know, I really, really like how Kevin took a chance and flexed, showed Deadhead's really, really good, cool arms. You
Yeah.
know, I think he's got like, not that I wouldn't like to have Mason's arms. You know, those are big monsters right there. But I love this face off. You know, it's and I don't really give any art direction when it comes to most things. I would say I don't know. It's interesting. It's I guess complicated thing, but with these covers especially, I was just like go nuts. You know what I mean? And I think this is I like what Ryan did here, where Ryan has snuck in so many has created a throne of slashers, which is very much, I would say, symbolic of Deadhead's goal.
Yeah.
And I kind of picked it up there. I'll let the chat find as many references as they look for.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm gonna do, aren't specifically looking for some. You can see Mason there. I really like here how Mason's hair looks like.
He's sicko. His tattoo on his forehead.
There you go. And
That's a Ryan Brown.
yeah, and that's available in the original for quite a steal
Oh, okay.
for any art collectors out there. It is, well worth it. Like I fully think it's
The original art for this is available.
I believe so. It's either the Ryan or the following one. Again, this is why they just pay me to write the words, folks.
Here it is. Yeah, get your hands on it.
Yeah.
The next one, Joseph.
Yes.
Joseph Schmalke. Did I pronounce that right? Schmalke.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, cover here, which is dope. You get the original work there.
Yeah, and a veteran of horror, and yeah, there's also the Ryan one as well.
Yeah.
I had the Ryan. Just it looks so good. They go for there for the steal, and I think again we were very fortunate. Like we had the best of problems, which is too much good art to not like spend on one campaign, which is such a thing for certain moments. Not for long times, but there sometimes you might run out of we don't want to show everything.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, you can rest assured there's plenty more Deadhead coming, especially from Iron Age. And covers are one thing I can assure for.
Nice, man. Well, this is the other Gabriel Fonseca cover F with the metallic and spot UV accents all over it. This looks like a callback to the Wolverine cover that McFarlane did.
For sure. It's there, it just we kind of had to, it's like one of those classic comic book face-offs of all time. And we hope down the line Deadhead and Mason will be a classic comic book face-off,
Absolutely, man. So you got a little bit of artwork on all the characters. Here's Deadhead.
Oh yeah. There's a few things that are very important to the Deadhead design for me. I feel Deadhead, we wanted to really give him his own iconic silhouette. And we wanted to really, again, he's a silent character, but he says so much, and he has a lot of attitude, a lot of pent up anger. Deadhead's origin is he for what felt like a lifetime of being a victim. One day, Deadhead started slashing and slashed back and never stopped slashing. It's again, like I said at the beginning, our story really is about taking agency.
Yeah.
And Deadhead took agency of his fate in a very aggressive way, and we wanted his design to sort of picture that. And I think Gabriel just knocked it out of the park here. And again, once Barlow slapped colors on it. I know there were other color options, but like my brain, my eyes only ever saw what you see now. It was a perfect palette. And same thing with Mauler. We wanted Mauler to have like he's been around the block, So he wears his tool chest literally around his belt. He's got a tool for everything. But you can see that it's meticulous because it is a job to him. He hates it. He hates this job, which I think some folks might be able to relate to. And he has to do it, and I think his design features that. While I think one of my favorite parts is Mahler is hiding. People might think he's hiding his face, but I think he's hiding his expression. I can't give an answer, but like Mahler feels very unfulfilled, very empty with what he does, and I don't think he knows how to feel, so he lets his mask feel for him. You know what I mean? I would say that's something absolutely that goes into his design.
That's awesome.
And this legend before you is Clerk, who represents all of us for better and for worse, mostly for worse. But Clerk has everything in his life is going to get uprooted by Deadhead, but he can't help but look. It's a car crash. He can't help but look away because it's sort of reinvigorating what it is he does, even though he is in charge of hunting down Deadhead. The more he pieces together what Deadhead's doing, the more he becomes a fan. And he works in the last shelf on Earth, maybe the last VHS shelf. And again, it's the last shelf on Earth. Has so much of a history in our story, but it also kind of like represents the zeitgeist of where we're coming from as fans of horror slashers. I wanted to pay homage to the history while again making sure we're fully action comic going first and foremost. But we do a lot of fun stuff, and Clerk lets us do that. He's the most popular character, and very much in the same position we the audience are, and I think we have a lot of fun there.
Yeah.
Not seen here are the Clerk has two little goons that work for him that I think will also give a lot of fun to the story. We again, it's one thing that we've been very fortunate with Deadhead was that we're able to just blow up a very wild world. Yeah. For better or worse, John's let me get away with a lot of stuff in the story I never want to say, oh, this was the only place for it. Yeah. But I really, as someone who's entering his 10th year doing this, and I've been fortunate to work mostly in creator owned, I think the energy that Iron Age has brought to Deadhead and allowed us to like have and shared with us has really made it so we've been able to tell the story we wanted to tell. Yeah. And I think it's been able to I think Gabriel, I don't want to speak so much for him, even though we really wanted to get him on this show, and hopefully we can in the future for another Kickstarter because he's phenomenal. But I think one thing we've made sure is to get out of his way because he's just been stellar. And again, everyone on the team, it's been a lot of fun. So
love it, man. Well, here are all the tiers, man. I mean, pretty inexpensive to jump in. You're getting your first issue for $15 right there, which is awesome. And for $1 more, you could get some of these variants as well, man. So we got the tool kit of Terror, Fear the Reaper,
Yeah, John's been came up with all Iron Age has been really uh I wanted them to be as hands on with the campaign. I've been very fortunate in that regard. I have enough anxiety as it is, and I think running a campaign would have been a little too much for me. So Iron Age has been just stellar. And there's many add-ons. One thing, and I hope John won't get too mad at me for this one. I personally have a rule where I don't charge for some signatures. So if you find me in person, I'll sign anything for it.
Nice.
But you can also get it with your Kickstarter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's
And, and then that to say is, this year I don't plan on doing too many shows, so this is going to be your best chance to get Deadhead. But next year, however, I have almost too many shows, so it'll be exciting. And again, there's so much stuff. Like it's incredible, and
yeah.
John's mind as a publisher, working not just as a creative side, but how to like bring the many different ways to bring these worlds to life. John's been exciting for it. It's been very cool. So I think, and like I said, I know I keep saying this, but I think it's an assurance that not many Kickstarters are fortunate enough to share. But I can assure you, there's a lot of more Deadhead coming your way. So you are investing in something here that is, thankfully, has at least a good long present future. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome, man. There you go. There's the team. Awesome, man. Well, congratulations, man. This thing looks phenomenal. Cannot wait to get my copy. And I'm glad there's going to be more to AC. This thing looks phenomenal, man. It looks like it can be a lot of fun. And yeah, the art is insane. So congrats to Gabriel, man. It looks so good, bro. So good.
Thank you, man. Again, I've been very fortunate. It's been my first. I've worked in creator most of my career. And I've also been fortunate to work with different partners, different writing partners. And Deadhead has been my first solo writer book since honestly maybe I would say I would say in at least 4 years, which because you get so much stuff that gets lost in backlog when it's coming out, But this again, the benefit of Kickstarter, the benefit of Iron Age has been that everything moved fast. So even though I've created other stuff long before Deadhead, Deadhead is my first solo back book in a long time, and it's been very exciting. And I think I couldn't be happier with a return. It's a book that's very much me, and like I said, I was trying to find, I guess cut out my own piece of horror, and Deadhead's how it formed. So I hope everyone digs it.
Yeah, I think they will, man. Obviously, you guys have surpassed your goal. Get over there and back it, though. As anybody who's ever done a Kickstarter before, you never make back what you put into it. So this is definitely more of a passion for most people. But yeah, get over there and back it, and get your action figures too, man. These things look phenomenal, bro. I'm excited.
Yeah. And I can't speak for Iron Age, but I can't speak for myself. I have been happily. John has Iron Age has treated me very well, and I think they have treated me in a way that I feel a lot of the more seasoned publishers I work with could maybe take some notes. I'm trying to be less spicy with my inside industry takes here, but Iron Age has treated me really well.
Yeah.
And despite its humble roots, I think they're gonna have a lot of exciting stuff for a long time, and I'm a part of a lot of that stuff, but I'm also not a part of a lot of it. So I'm speaking both as a fan and creator. They're cooking up some really cool stuff, and I'm fortunate to be a part of that.
Yeah, I mean, John's such a great guy, and everything that you all are doing at Iron Age is amazing, man. Definitely a publisher you should be following and you should be backing. Super high quality products, man. Awesome art. What a great team, man. AC, you're killing it, bro. You're killing it, man.
Thank you so much. I do have one more Iron Age Kickstarter later this year.
Oh,
Thankfully,
nice.
I can have a little bit of a break because 2 back-to-back Kickstarters, as fun as it sounds, it's not.
Yeah, stressful.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Like I don't think I want to see green numbers for a while. But no, I've been very fortunate, and I think we have a lot of cool stuff in store for you guys. I know we've hit all of our goals, and we have no more incentives. So, but I think the best incentive is more Deadhead, right? So
Yeah, for
I can
sure.
assure you that the more backers we get, the more Deadhead we'll have. Uh,
Absolutely.
and,
Absolutely, bro. Well, here is the link again. Once we hit end, I will make sure we add the link, make it really easy for everyone to get. We're going to share this over the next 11 days to make sure that you're seeing it all over our channels. But everyone, get over to Kickstarter right now. You can just type in Deadhead or just copy and paste this link into your browser, and it'll take you right there. And back away, man, back away. I think this is a title that you're going to regret missing if you don't back it. So get over there and back it, man.
yes, please. Like I said, we're gonna have more Kickstarters in the future, but you're gonna want to have gone in this one. And the toy's only here. It's gonna be very hard to get this thing after. It's like I can't say that I might have 1 or 2 at most for future contests and giveaways, but that's it. And like honestly, I feel like as much as we all want to at Iron Age and at Team Deadhead, we want to keep as many. John has said these are for the backers, so and they're handmade, one of a kind, and one thing I do want to say is we do know the price, especially in today's times, is not an easy price, but there's a lot of options, So and again, we wouldn't be offering it if people weren't taking it, and they have by a lot. Like it's incredible. It's incredible. So thank you all. You've back here. Thank you everyone. We really couldn't do this without you, and we have a lot more Deadhead coming your way. So thanks
Love
again,
it,
guys.
Well, AC, thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for sharing everything that's going on over at Iron Age.
Anytime, man. I'm not
You're
lying.
always welcome, bro. Always welcome, man.
I'm notorious for these things. Like I finally this year, 10 years in, my writing partner Medina, she has finally twisted my arm enough that I'm gonna do panels because like I love talking. I just don't like I don't know, like panels are scary, I guess. I don't know. I love this show, dude. I love every vibe here. I think as a toy fan, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it, man. And Deadhead, dude, I can't wait. We gotta talk about Green Lantern. Actually, we'll save that. And I'm always pitching the next thing. I always tell people my favorite book's the next one.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, if you want to talk to Green Lantern, the next Iron Age title is for sure up that wheelhouse. So
nice. Well, I'm in, bro. I've been backing everything ever since I met you all. It's super high quality stuff, bro. And you're such a good writer, AC. So
thank you, man. Thank you so much. That means a lot.
So you don't have to come back just to do a Kickstarter. You come back anytime, bro.
Oh, yeah,
this next one, bro.
Who would it be awesome? Man, I'll take anything right now. If you just need, there's so much good stuff. Like, oh man, what was I just reading? I was reading the new Bitter Root. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Lost Humanity. That's good dope.
Yeah.
Oh man. I've been loving a lot of stuff. I've been loving Absolute Batman. Oh man, there's been a lot of cool stuff.
You see the Bane cover, bro?
Oh, dude, absolutely. And like,
It's awesome.
I was like,
It's
dude, the
ridiculous. I
more,
love it. Bro.
yeah, the more big hamburger meat, the better. You know what I mean? Let it hang and like, oh man, there. What else? There's so many good books right now. I've really loved. I'm gonna butcher the name, but Sentinels right now in Marvel has like been one of the most underrated
Mm,
series. I'm telling you, no, like I've been loving that one, and I've been reading that one a lot. And I just Image has been having a crazy year. Like my God, the world out there, it's just been oh man, like what's been the latest time Tinian book is so cool.
which
Oh,
one?
freaking, it's like the one with the battle royale. I like. I have it's an Image title. It's been really good. It's just been there's been so much good stuff. I've been
Yeah,
losing
yeah. Have you
losing
read
a
Bug
lot of
Wars
friends.
yet? Have you read
What's
Bug
that?
Wars by Jason Aaron? Bug
Oh,
Wars?
yeah, I and like let me tell you, Max. I hope Max won't get mad at me. Me and Max, we had a Bug Wars title, and but I always love when that happens. Because
Yeah,
that always was like, yeah, someone. I was like, oh, Jason Aaron thought that title was cool. He's gonna be much better, dude. What a pull!
yeah,
What a Jason Aaron's. He's always been Scout. Scout is one of my like foundations. I would say again, I wanted to be known as a crimes guy, and I used to always say, like my book, I would take to an island is 100 bullets.
yeah.
Not only do you get 100 comics to read, which is a long read, but that's just one of those books. So that era is very much again. If you ever want to do like, hey, how did this happen? When
Sure.
I'm not over here just slinging a Kickstarter. Not I love this stuff, man. I think I've become a fan with each year I write it. It's definitely a joy.
Absolutely, man. Well, AC, man, it's always a pleasure having you, my friend. Congratulations on Deadhead. Everyone get over there, but let's stay in touch, my friend, and I can't wait to have you back on.
Absolutely. I can't wait to be back on, and I'm sure John's been working so hard.
I mean, we've had him call in while he's in his phone coming back from work. So I know the guy's really busy. Love the guy, man. He is awesome. Great publisher. And everyone
Yeah,
loves him that works with him. So, he's a really good guy.
absolutely. John is he's one of a kind. So I'm very excited to see what Iron Age is going to bring for comics. But thank you for having me. I think my voice is running out. So
Well, thank you, AC, man. I hope you have a great rest of your night, my friend. Appreciate you.
you too, Tommy, man. Thanks for having me, dude.
All right, brother. Have a good one, man.
Great, man.
Later.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.